And this is my dad.
It's my son.
I don't
All right.
know what I have to you guys.
So the time now is 5:01 p.m. We're going to be commencing the regular Recreation Advisory Board meeting Wednesday, March 20th. Madam Clerk, first item.
Yes, no invocation. This meeting doesn't require an invocation. For the Pledge of Allegiance,
Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have Vanna White start us off.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item.
Item 3, roll call. Chair, Member Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Member Miguel Casanova.
Present.
Member Ivan Chavez Sr.
Present.
Member Alex Diaz.
Here.
Member Zachariah Evangelista is excused. Member Marcos Lopez.
Here.
And Member Cristina Barona, she's not present. I don't know if she's coming, so she's excused for now. City Manager Edward Silva is present, and City Clerk Arneri Gonzalez. Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval, January 10, 2024, Recreation Advisory Board meeting, and January 10, 2024, Recreation Advisory Sole Purpose meeting.
Motion for approval.
Motion second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
It's item 5, public comments.
Anyone for public comments? Nobody for public comments. Tommy? All right. Nobody for public comments. Next item.
Item 6, unfinished business, none.
Next item.
Item 7, under new business agenda items. Item 8, presentation of multi-generational center design.
Let the manager take it away from here.
Hey, hold on, let me make sure that the presentation, there we go. Okay. All right, guys, this is a discussion of what we've been talking about for some time now, about the multi-generational center, and we're going to become clear as to why we're saying it's a multi-generational center. But let's start off by saying what's the purpose of the presentation that we're doing today to the commission later on. So let us know how we got to the point where we are. It's to present solutions to some of the issues that we've encountered since we became a manager, and to also show the roadmap of the financial steps needed to ensure that we can get this done. That's it. Let's start off by saying that this road started in the year 2000 when the original community center was conceived. 2004 and 2006, there were other designs done to change the gym, the exercise weight room area, and try to get them covered in air conditioning. That never got anywhere. That's what went up to 2022, when it was over 62 weeks ago that the construction breaking ground occurred. Since then, that project has fallen substantially behind and had major numerous delays. One that cost us $200,000 in a grant. When I started to look into this and realized what was going on, we came across a few items such as the gym ceiling was 9 feet tall, which isn't tall enough for an exercise area. You'd be hitting your head if you had any weights or anything picked up. Recommended practices for a gym are a ceiling height of a minimum of 11, preferably 12 to 14. It didn't have any showers. There wasn't a business plan associated to this. There was no idea how it was going to be run or operated. And the list goes on and on and on, things that were not properly done or executed. So we started to look at this. We started to think about what this could be and what it should be. This is the signature part of West Miami. It's the heartbeat of the city. The city's 8,000 people big. It's one of 4 of our parks. And it gave us a perfect opportunity to combine all age groups, from toddlers to seniors in one centrally located space. And instead of having a piecemeal design, which has been a typical thing here, it allowed us to really conceive of how to organize and make it a coherent plan for everybody. Let's see if it works now. Okay. So let's keep going. What are the pieces of the puzzle? We've divided this into two phases, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Phase 1 includes parking, storage, the mini pitch soccer, and the multi-purpose center. Starting with parking, we are proposing one-waying 18th Street and 63rd Avenue, which will allow us to have a 300% increase in parking, which is substantial. We're not going to ever have enough parking. That's always seemingly an issue with these things, but this is a substantial improvement with what we have. But I also wanted to take into account our neighbors and our residents that live there, and I wanted to make sure that they weren't looking at a parking lot on off hours. So we're trying to do this as permeable parking. They'll have the grass around the Bowmanite so it looks aesthetically pleasing to everybody in that area, and that's what we're proposing. As you know, West Miami is challenged with a lack of storage facilities all throughout the city, so we're adding a building here that will have a storage area and an office for our maintenance crews, and a place for us to have our grass cutting and gators and everything else that we need to dredge the fields out in the softball, baseball areas. The third component here is the mini pitch soccer fields, which we've already got funded and it's underway. The United States Soccer Federation is proposing to install 2 mini pitch soccer fields with lights 40 feet by 104 feet. With it comes their option to be able to do a 24-week camp for 5 years at no cost to the city of West Miami, where our residents have first priority. Our residents will be the first to fill up the camp. And they will be using just one of the 2 fields, so there will always be a field open for our residents. That camp is tied into an educational component, and it was a great way to bring in an amenity that this city did not have anywhere. Now that gets us to the new site plan. So let's start talking. One of the first things that we're doing is flipping the baseball field over to here. It will prohibit the conflict we have now with some balls that are being hit into the residents' yards, and with parking all up and down the streets. We thought it would be very, very beneficial for us to not have any broken windows by flipping that. As an added benefit, what it does, it provides this big area right in here as an open play field when we don't have softball or baseball, that we can use it for other sports, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In the back corner, right by FP&L, is where we're proposing our new basketball courts. The soccer fields will be next to them, and they're going in. Right now, where the top lot in the pavilion is where the pickleball courts will be. And then we're moving the top lot and adding a concession terrace area toward the front. Tennis will be here, and the new rec center right there. Now here's a bigger plan of it, and let's start off by what's existing is this area that's in gray here. These are the 3 multi-purpose rooms. We're converting this back transitional piece into a homework area for the kids that have camp. We are proposing a tennis office right here in the covered pavilion. And the reason why we want the tennis office there, that would be a great place for everybody to come buy tennis balls if they need them, anything they need. And it's a great way to have eyes on the tennis center at all times, and for you to be able to sign in and sign out. Important thing is there's a main entrance here, the blue, and let me show you in the next slide. It's probably better there. The blue is the lobby area. Wow, I just woke up. The blue is the lobby area. We wanted to make a one-point entry point that could control both the gym and the senior activity center. That way we only have to have one employee there and not have to have different ones. Let's talk about the senior activity center first. Since this is a 9-foot ceiling, we've decided to turn this into our senior activity center where we can put about 100 seniors at any given time. We'll have our back of the house offices back here and a bigger kitchen than what we currently have that will service both the senior activity center, our kids, and any or all rentals that we may have in the future. In the gym, once you walk in through the gym, you have obviously the reception area here, a small office here, cardio, weights, and equipment. There's a rear terrace that overlooks the future pickleball courts, so that we have a covered area for anybody that wants to look at the pickleball courts at the same time. Second floor. Second floor are going to have movable partitions. Once you get off the elevator here, you're going to have a teen center that's in the red color here. Need my glasses to remember what spaces are which. We'll have an arts and crafts room, spinning classes, Pilates areas, yoga classroom area, a boxing area, gym, and back in here, it's an indoor playground with babysitting services, which will be basically something like this over here in the far right-hand corner. We want this to be an all-in-one shop. You want to come and work out and you don't have anywhere to leave your kids, we'll babysit them for you for an hour or two. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Upstairs, third floor, we have an event space with a rooftop mini putt-putt facility. We're also proposing, and this is just, sometimes you have to dream, an enclosed slide that you can get here from the third floor that'll drop you off in the teen center in the second floor. The lobby, since it's 3 stories, we want to make it a rock climbing wall so that you can also have that as a amenity for the center as well. So why even build a rec center? Obviously, it's going to improve the services for the residents. Is it going to improve our quality of life? It's going to give us a state-of-the-art facility. But here's a couple of things that I don't know where, hold on, I want to see where I put something in the slide. Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, well, I'm going the wrong way, sorry guys. First time I do it, so what are we adding? Well, the original building was 3,300 feet. We're adding an additional 10,380 feet. But we're also going for grants to make this a hardened hardened Category 5 hurricane-proof shelter for our Emergency Operations Center, and also for a community shelter in case of hurricanes. We want to make sure that this is the heartbeat and the center of our community for a very, very long time. So how do we compare to other parks? There's an organization that's called the National Parks and Recreation Association that and I'm going to start giving you graphs from these people as we go forward so that you understand, but they provide a lot of information. One of the things that they provide is what do resident cities that have less than 20,000, what are their most compelling need and what they offer their residents. They offer for 60 recreation centers, including gyms, community centers, and senior centers. This facility fits all 3 in one neat location. As an added thing, we also have teen centers, which is a little bit further down that list, but it's also one of the top things that they like to give the communities because teens really don't have a place to hang out that much anymore. So the City of West Miami, this is what we propose that it looks like, but we got a step further. Not only have we proposed this, we've looked at the revenues that this center can generate, and we understand that the additional staff that we need to make our business plan work will be more than covered by the revenues that this center can create. We're estimating right now that we're going to need 2 full-time employees and 4 part-time employees. Without it costing or an increase in taxes in any way, shape, or form, the amenities and the things that this place will offer will be able to offset that and then some.
As an example, and this is a proposed calendar that eventually is going to come back to you as a Parks and Rec Board to see what it is that you want to offer and what you don't want to offer. But right now, what we're proposing is for the gym to be open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., with babysitting services available from 6 to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday. We can foresee having spinning classes, Pilates classes, Mommy and Me classes, weight training, Zumba, tutoring, senior fitness, everything that you may ever want in a rec center can be offered here. So we now have kind of shown you our vision, but how do we accomplish it? This is the important part. This is where the rubber meets the road. So we know that this is going to cost us approximately $6.2 million. However, we have $4 million that we've been sitting in our bank that has to be spent by the end of the year, which is a grant from the federal government that they gave us for ARPA for COVID relief, and we haven't used that money in any way, shape, or form. We've been blessed that we've been able to get grants because we were earmarking it this year to use it for water and drainage projects, but we've been blessed to have gotten over $4.5 million in grant from the state, and we just got awarded another $750,000 federally. We do not need to use that money for that need anymore. So that freed up this money for me to be able to move it into doing the rec center. We have remaining funds from the original allocations for what was started over 62 weeks ago. I am taking some of the Park Reserve Fund money out, and we are in line to get a state grant for the Senior Activity Center that's up in Tallahassee right now. That covers the whole building. We do not have to worry about how we're going to cover it. How do we do the parking? The parking, we foresee it to cost about $750,000, but again, from the half-penny sales tax that we all pay to the county, and they reimburse us for that money, we can only use it for transportation purposes. By redoing the streets one way and adding parking as one of the elements that you can use that money for, so we're going to use $500,000 from there. And in the current fiscal year budget, we had over $200,000 earmarked for street improvements, so that covers the parking. As you well know, soccer has already been covered by the grant that we got from the United States Soccer Foundation. Thank you guys, sorry. So that's how we include phase one. So what's going to be phase two? Phase two will include the playground area where we want to move it toward the front. But it's not just removing and moving the playground area to the front. We want to revamp it. Right now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the playground area can only be used by a resident from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. By moving it toward the front, we'll be able to have it open for all residents at all times. It will no longer conflict with our camps. We want to expand the bathrooms. We have a one-person bathroom now. We want to make them a men and a women's bathroom. Add a concession. Add a little concession area here, so we can sell you soft drinks, iced teas, ice creams, and so on and so forth, in a covered pavilion that will overlook the playground area. So that is a nice amenity for our residents to have. Another component is the pickleball courts, the 4 courts. As you all know, we're in for a grant, still hasn't been awarded. So for right now, for the purposes of today, this is being put as phase 2. We're waiting for that outcome of that grant at any moment, and as soon as it comes through, I'll be in front of the commission asking them to let me go and start building this as well. We want to relocate the tennis courts and move them toward the front so there's more interaction with the office and more interaction with what we're calling a tennis supply rental office. So that means that the basketball courts will be moved back to where the tennis courts are now, next to FP&L, and we're proposing to put a roof over it that's full of solar panels. That's important for a couple reasons. That means our basketball courts are now year-round, doesn't matter if it's raining or not, it's usable at all times. But this will also generate enough electricity to remove the electrical cost of running the whole center from the taxpayers. And with that, the last component of Phase 2 will be a cohesive look at lighting, landscaping, and seating areas interspersed throughout the project to make it aesthetically pleasing for all of us that visit the new rec center. And that's it. Now, I'm here to answer any of your all questions, and that's the presentation that we have.
Exciting stuff, right? It's a lot, they've been working a lot behind the scenes. We've all lived here for a very long time, and this is something that I think we can all agree that we deserve. The city deserves something like this to be proud of, and all of us sitting on this board are gonna be a huge part in making that happen. So when that comes to fruition, we can all say that we had a part in that. It's gonna be a legacy project that all of us are gonna be able to use and be proud of for multi-generational, meaning seniors can use it, young folks can use it, but it's multi-generational as well because it's gonna stand the test of multiple generations. My son's gonna grow up using that, all our kids, so I'll open up the floor for any questions, but thank you so much to the staff for putting this together, it's amazing.
Do we have a date more or less, not a date, but more or less when it will be finished, completed?
At least the first phase, right? 'Cause-
Well,
Second phase.
The first phase will take about 12 to 15 months to do. From the moment
The original builder right now does not have the bandwidth or the time to do it. He will be assigning the contract to somebody else. Once that is assigned and we start and we break ground, we were told between 10 to 12 months. I'm going to be on the conservative side and tell you 12 to 15. But I think you guys seen what I've done in the short period of time I've been here. I think you guys will realize that I'll be pushing this hard. So I want to have this open as soon as we possibly can.
So in the interim, like once, like in terms of the phases and accessibility, like while there's construction going on, will there be areas that will be accessible or will the entire facility kind of be closed
We're
off?
going to try to maintain and keep as much as we possibly can open. What I'm foreseeing is somewhere down the road, we only have one tennis court open now. We may have to close down both of them because I need a staging area. That's the only thing that we've looked at that might be impacted. The rest of it, we don't think will be impacted. We'll be able to work around it. And I'm hoping to keep as much of it open as I possibly can.
And for summer camp and after school care, we should be able to continue. Obviously not at the full capacity.
No, I'm gonna, yes, it'll be open and it'll be at the same capacity as we have right now. Worst case scenario,
I
I've
mean
done,
capacity, not people, but like
And
tennis
that-
courts and basketball courts.
the tennis courts may not be there,
Yeah.
but the basketball courts will, the fields will, the tot lot will, the existing pavilion will. We're also planning on coming back at a later date and kind of renovate the existing building that's there now. If they overlap, we may have to rent trailers for the kids and put them in air-conditioned trailers. We've done it in the past, I've done it in the past in other cities. And that'll be a temporary thing for a few months, it won't be for a very long period. But the existing building needs a little bit of tender loving care as well, it's showing its age.
Definitely, because I just know, like, from working there and being a kid that went there, like a lot of families, it's just where the kid goes for summer, like, it's in their head, so, if all of a sudden
We're not
it's
taking,
not
Yeah.
available, it's like, whoa.
it's not our
It'll be
intent
a
to take
massive
that, it's not
area.
our intent to take that away at all, at all.
The grant for phase 2, no? Which, the grant that should come from the state, I guess, that will be approved this fiscal year or next fiscal year?
It may be, there is one that we have in now, which is for the pickleball courts. That will be probably announced in the next few months.
That's the only one that
By
was
the
approved?
summer,
That's the only one that we put in for so far.
What about the lighting for the?
That one includes the lighting as well. It's the pickleball court and the lighting, I'm sorry, I'm
When
just,
you do the lighting, do you want to do the field too or just the lights? I mean,
it's,
that's gonna be for the
that
same-
grant is the fields and the lights and the pickleball courts. It's all three. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I've reduced it to pickleball courts just to get through the presentation, but that grant included all three things. We're putting in a grant now in the next few weeks for hardening to make it a shelter and a emergency operations center, because our city doesn't have one. So that's the next grant that we're submitting for, and then on the next phase of grants that open up, we're gonna go in for more grants.
So if everything goes well, the pickleballs and the baseball field, we started this year.
If the stars align, it'll start sometime this year as
And
well,
then-
yes. Or at least it'll be funded this year, and it'll be
Right.
put into the schedule of what we're doing,
Right.
yes.
It's approved.
If it's approved, then I'm gonna have a headache on how I'm going to move things around, but yes, it'd be a very good headache to have.
How many months is this current building, when did we break ground on that one?
Over 62 weeks ago, sir.
So in about 62 weeks from now, we'll have this done?
Yes, sir.
The entire project, just a building.
Phase one.
Phase one.
Phase one, and hopefully we'll have the other grant come through, and we can start doing some of the other components as well.
And that's just for the rec center, where we have the grant out for Cooper Park, in the
Yes.
November meeting as well.
That's supposed to be coming this fiscal year if it's approved, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
it
exciting
takes
stuff.
a while to approve things, but we're hoping to hear back on everything this,
More or less with the pickleball and all.
correct.
And this is just for the facility, as far as the schedules and fees and all that, that'll be a later meeting that we'll all discuss. For now, we'll just focus on this. Any other questions? Comments, concerns? Mike?
Commissioner, what I have, it's about the baseball field right now. They play soccer there. They have a kind that plays soccer there. I took some pictures there. And there's no grass left in that area on the left field. I mean, is anything else that we can do about this? Because it's really in bad shape back there. That, I mean, you can look at the pictures here. Look at some of the pictures. I mean, they got holes in there. It's not just all the grass is gone.
Well, sprinklers were broken.
Well, but still, even if you have sprinklers, it's in the same area all the time that where they practice twice a week. The big difference.
So we have this vision.
Yeah, but what now? What can we do now? Is anything we can do now?
Could we put a temporary piece of turf there,
Well-
just so they can practice on that?
I was gonna say, long term, once we're done with all this stuff, maybe we can go for some.
We can
turf or
I'll look, let me look at it, we can resod it, I mean, if
Yeah,
it's
but
like that.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Resorting is not going to help the issue here. It's not. I mean,
It's
that
gotta
field-
be-
that field
it's
is not
gotta be
made for
resurfaced.
soccer. It's not made for soccer. That grass is not made for soccer.
Exactly.
So it's going to destroy it right away. I mean, you put sod there, it's going to be like putting a Band-Aid.
So when we move the fields and we have that long piece of grass, we're gonna have a field that is capable of withstanding soccer.
It will, it will make sure that it's, look, there's a couple things here. Quite frankly, we have a lot of use on those fields. We gotta make sure that we're smart in how we go about it. We gotta make sure that our sprinkler system's working at all times. We gotta make sure that we grade our fields and take care of them the way they should be. The city hasn't had the maintenance component to it that it should have had for years. We're trying to play catch up with that everywhere, not just there, but everywhere. And we'll get around to making sure that we understand that we have a problem in terms of maintenance, and we'll try to address that as we go along. There's no way that we're gonna make an investment like this and not maintain it. That would be foolish.
I have no question. Is there a possibility to temporarily maybe promote people to use Cooper Park and like the open grass areas to play soccer and all of that?
That's a recommendation the Park and Recs Board can make to the commission and let them bring it up. As you know, right now, we have an ordinance that does not allow us to have any kind of organized sports there,
Right.
balls or anything else. We are working on an alternative as well, but I'm not quite ready to put that out. So maybe, there might be an alternative between now and then that we can look at.
Well, in terms of Cooper Park, you're right, there's the ordinance, no balls or anything. However, there's people that have been going over there and playing soccer there.
Yeah.
So my concern with that is
Same thing
this going to be the result at Cooper Park where we
It
have
will-
all our
it will be.
social
It will be.
events and you want it to look beautiful, you know what I mean?
It will be.
Mr. Chavez, that's why I'm saying there might be an alternative between now and then that we can investigate. That's the next thing on my list.
Are they planning to leave, John?
I'm trying to get as much done as I can in a short period of
That's
time.
not the alternative, I don't think.
There's an alternative out there.
In the meantime, we'll try to figure out something in the interim, but long term, like the manager said, the grass that we're gonna have will be able to sustain it, there'll be a maintenance program, and this isn't gonna happen long term. For now, we'll figure out how we can deal with it, but this is the vision long term, we'll all be happy with it.
Bro, you got holes there now, Commissioner.
That
There's
thing
holes
you're
there because
throwing around?
yeah, even because they said the goals in the same area, so eventually there's holes. There's no
Yeah,
grass,
someone's
there's holes down out
gonna
there.
get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as.
And it's not even, I mean.
As long as it's even, I mean.
It's not even.
Yeah, but if we just fill it with sand, I mean, it's not
Yeah,
as pretty, but you
The
can play.
problem with,
And sand is not
the
gonna hold
problem with
it.
this, having coached baseball, when you get this sugar sandy areas.
Yeah, you
It
can't.
exposes the roots to the St. Augustine.
Yeah.
So then you can end up sticking a toe under a root.
Oh, you can get hurt because the sand
We
moves.
busted up kinda ankles.
Once you're running, the
That's
sand
spring
moves
too.
off your feet. It's
So, yeah, but if
it's
there's
not an easy
no,
task.
It kinda reminds me of the
there's no
outfit.
magic sprinkler
No,
thing we
there's
can
not.
put on.
It kinda reminds me of the outfit that saw me in high school, when I was playing.
Yeah, well, that's true.
What did you all think of the presentation? What did y'all think of what's coming?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that one office for.
So you're saying that we
board
should have for
members
2
to
years
hang
from
out.
now to have the whole project completed, or?
That's the goal.
Okay.
I mean, I really like it, and I like that now there's gonna be flexibility of hours.
Yeah.
You know, especially after the pandemic, so many people are working from home or have the flexibility to work like hybrid schedules, so having accessibility to like use a facility like that is great, because you don't necessarily need a gym membership somewhere else, right? You can give it back to your city, so I like that, I appreciate that.
Want more social space for us as residents to keep hanging out with each other.
Right, right. And I particularly like the teen center, right? Because it's true, I mean, teenagers really don't have a place. Like, I went to Sunset Place, but it's abandoned now. So, you know, there's not really a spot, like, for right, like, there's not a spot for teenagers to, like, socially engage with each other in a safe space. So, I think that's important.
Well, that's the goal. We're trying to make this
For
from
me, it would be
infants
easy. I can
to
move
our
from the baseball
seniors.
field to the senior center and I'm right there.
Well,
What are you
and
gonna say?
this is
Just right there.
even
I don't have to
the-
go too far.
Even the synergy with our senior center, I'm just amazed that it's never really been looked at. If you have a gym and you have the seniors in the daytime, that's when the gyms use the least. And that's how to keep the seniors active. They can go and walk the park, go
Yeah.
and use the machines. And this is gonna keep that place active all day long, which is what the goal of everybody should be.
You're still kind of tossing around the question of membership. Like, this is a benefit obviously for West Miami.
It's a benefit for West Miami. We're gonna have a dual. It's up to the commission as to how we go forward. My proposal will be having a very modest fee for the residents and a much substantially higher fee for the non-residents. That's what we're.
Like they
looking
do, like at, what's this pool over here in Coral Gables?
Venetian?
The Venetian Pool, yeah, Venetian Pool is like $6 for Coral Gables residents and like 25 for everybody else, something like that.
And that's what we're looking at a model like that. We've been looking at the fees that all our sister cities around us charge. We want to make sure that we're at the low end of that list, but that we're fair.
And when the time comes, rest assured, we are gonna have a meeting and we'll discuss this amongst each other with the manager.
And on top of that, I also want to give free, just flat out free time for our residents to use the place. A certain period every day.
Mr. Manager, the trees on the baseball field, are those going to be removed or are they going to stay? You
We'll
don't know
trim
yet?
it, we don't know yet, but I can tell you right now that they all need to be trimmed. So we really need to kind of manicure them a little bit, is I guess the best way
Yeah.
to put them. And we're not about reducing tree canopy. We actually got a grant that we're going to be talking about in a little while, where we got an $80,000 grant to increase our canopy.
The street is beautiful.
So we're not in the business of removing trees. I mean, there are some that we're going to have to.
Yeah.
That's just part of it, but we'll replace it with something else.
You had mentioned the projected staffing of 2 full-time FTEs, and I think it was 4
Part-time.
part-time. With all the stuff going on, concessions, is there room for more? Because I mean, just in square footage alone, we're going from 3,000 to 10,000. I mean, I'm thinking we'd have to multiply our stuff, not add a couple.
Well, okay, there's things that we can do. The concession could be an outside vendor,
Okay, so yeah.
okay? The classes will be outside vendors. You know, we'll go to a Pilates studio and say, joint venture with us, give us a percentage of what you charge,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. That's what we're gonna be doing. That's how we're gonna be handling that.
Okay, so that way.
So it's not, so
yeah.
it's not part of our payroll, but it's gonna be covered by a professional that have insurance and the whole 9 yards.
And has
I'm-
interest, obviously, with us in line.
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Ready to move on? Next item?
Item 8, good of the order.
Anything for good of the order? None. Next item,
Adjournment.
motion to adjourn? Motion. Meeting adjourned.
All we have left is,
To handle the park, Commissioner, the water fountain at Cooper, I don't know if it's gonna be replaced, but it's not working right.
So water fountain,
At Cooper Park, it's sending to
all
repair.
water drinking
The
water.
one that you can, yeah.
Yeah, you press a button and it's, and it continue running water, so it needs to be.
No, but we got a grant for a new one, didn't we?
Yeah, but that's gonna be 2 years from now, to fix it now.